From this moment, you stand at a crossroads with two distinct paths before you, one of mediocrity and limitation, and the other of infinite expansion and boundless greatness. The choice is yours. Which will you take? In the next few minutes, I'll share with you transformative techniques from the teachings of Neville Goddard, methods so profound that they can alter the course of your reality. You'll learn how to rewrite your past, embody your desired future, and finally break free from the matrix of limitations that has held you back. Before we begin, ask yourself a vital question. Are you truly ready for change? If you are prepared to let go of victimhood and step into the role of the conscious creator of your destiny, then keep watching. This is the beginning of your transformation. Are you ready to escape the simulation? Life, for many, unfolds like a meticulously crafted movie. The same sets, the same characters, recurring plots. At times, it's easy to feel like an actor fulfilling a predetermined script rather than a conscious participant. If you've ever questioned whether you're living in a simulation, a grand matrix that dictates your every move, this exploration aims to confirm a paradoxical truth. Yes, you are stuck in a simulation of sorts, but it's one largely authored by your own consciousness. And there is a way out. Neville Goddard, a 20th century spiritual teacher, provides a framework that challenges our most basic assumptions about reality, identity, and the nature of time. He argued that the world we perceive is analogous to a virtual projection of our internal states, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and assumptions. As radical as that might sound, it aligns with modern interpretations of quantum physics and age-old mystical traditions. The underlying premise: if your mind is the projector, then the movie on the screen, your life, can change at the speed of imagination. The impulse to escape the simulation often arises when you realize your life is governed by repetitive patterns. You might see the same limitations in finances, relationships, or health reoccurring over and over. You may wonder why, despite your hardest efforts, certain doors remain closed. This is the turning point. The moment you realize you're walking a treadmill rather than an open road. The sense of entrapment can be frustrating, even suffocating, yet it's also an invitation. It's a call from your deeper self to step into a new reality, to rewrite the script of your life. Neville Goddard's teachings provide a framework for doing exactly that. Through the power of imagination and assumptions, you can break free of old patterns and design a reality you truly desire. However, this process demands a fundamental shift in how you perceive yourself and the world around you. It requires you to embrace an inner authority that transcends material conditions. Only then can you begin the journey of escaping the simulation, by redefining it on your own terms. Before we dive into the techniques, it's essential to determine if you're truly ready for this path. True transformation demands commitment. It requires that you let go of familiar excuses and limiting beliefs. Are you willing to challenge decades of societal programming? Can you handle taking full responsibility for your experiences, recognizing that you are the origin of your circumstances, not merely a victim of them? Many people find comfort in the familiar loops of the simulation because it relieves them of responsibility. Shattering that illusion means accepting accountability for everything you experience, both the joys and the sorrows. If you find yourself in a place of readiness, if you crave a reality that aligns with your highest aspirations, then the path of Neville Goddard's teachings may be your key to liberation. There is no half-hearted approach here. Stepping into conscious creation demands your full participation. The simulation explained Neville Goddard's perspective. Central to Neville Goddard's philosophy is the concept that consciousness is the only reality. Contrary to the worldview that sees external forces as primary, Goddard's perspective places the individual's inner world at the center of creation. According to this view, the tangible world is not the primary source of power or truth. It is a projection of your inner beliefs, emotions, and assumptions. This means that everything you experience in the external world has roots in your consciousness. In practical terms, consciousness can be likened to the operating system of a computer. When we speak of a simulation, we're referring to the effects displayed on the screen, your daily life. But the code behind those effects is written in your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. When you start rewriting that code, reality must follow suit. For many, this perspective is initially jarring because it places responsibility for life's circumstances squarely on the individual. But it's also liberating as it gives you the power to change the code at will. Goddard often spoke of life as a mirror. Whatever belief you hold about yourself or the world, the mirror reflects it back in the form of events, relationships, and outcomes. If you assume that success is unattainable, life will dutifully present you with evidence to confirm that assumption. If you believe that people are generally kind and supportive, you'll witness a reality filled with those kinds of people. This mirror principle may sound simplistic, but it has profound implications. You are not merely reacting to reality, you are continuously co-creating it. This interplay of inner and outer worlds forms the basis of the simulation. You are, in a sense, the dreamer of your own dream, weaving a tapestry of experiences that align with your self-image and core beliefs. An alternate way of framing this mirror principle is to view life as a grand theater, with each event and person serving as an actor or backdrop, responding to the script you hold in your imagination. Neville Goddard referred to this script as your assumptions. He believed that any assumption once persistently held would eventually harden into fact. This is why changing your inner dialogue, your assumptions about yourself and the world, is crucial if you want to shift the play that is your life. Is there something in your life you've been wanting to change? Perhaps a recurring financial struggle, a challenging relationship dynamic, or a stubborn health issue. According to Goddard, these persistent conditions are simply reflections of the assumptions you've held over time. Alter the assumption, and the outer scene must eventually rearrange itself to match the new script. This explains why certain patterns seem inescapable. If you haven't altered the underlying assumption, you're likely to recreate the same outcomes repeatedly. How your consciousness shapes reality. The idea that consciousness shapes reality is not exclusive to spiritual teachings. It has parallels in the realm of quantum physics. The famous observer effect in quantum mechanics suggests that particles behave differently when they are measured or observed. While quantum mechanics doesn't fully confirm every spiritual interpretation, it does highlight the significance of observation, and by extension, consciousness, in shaping outcomes. Translating this into practical life, your focus acts like a measuring instrument. When you place your attention on a desired outcome or state of being, you collapse probabilities and guide reality toward that outcome. Conversely, if your focus dwells on fear, worry, or limitation, you similarly reinforce those negative trajectories. Every moment offers a choice. Which possibility are you measuring and thus reinforcing? If you've ever labeled yourself as unlucky in love or bad with money, you've practiced a form of unconscious creation. These labels act as self-fulfilling prophecies, molding your life to fit the picture you hold of yourself. Once you become aware of this, you can replace these limiting labels with empowering ones. For instance, choose to see yourself as lovable and worthy of deep connection, or a magnet for financial abundance. This change in self-identification can have a domino effect on how you behave, react, and ultimately experience life's opportunities. The power of self-identification is at the heart of Goddard's approach. He proposed that the imagination is the creative force of the universe. When you imagine yourself as successful, loved, or healthy, you align your consciousness with that state of being. Your actions and experiences then shift to match this new self-definition. This is not merely wishful thinking, it's a deliberate, structured approach to reality crafting. Alongside thoughts and beliefs, emotions play a critical role in shaping reality. Emotions infuse your mental images with vitality. A fleeting thought about wealth won't do much to change your financial status, but a passionate, emotionally charged belief that you are already financially secure can have transformative effects. Emotions give your inner script a kind of energetic fuel, influencing how quickly it manifests. It's important to note that not all emotions are useful. If you constantly cultivate anxiety or dread, you energize scenarios that match those feelings. The antidote is conscious emotional management, which involves acknowledging your emotions without letting them run unchecked. Practices like meditation, breathwork, or journaling can help you channel your emotions more constructively, empowering you to align them with your desired outcomes. The power of assumptions. What are you really manifesting? Often, the first step in harnessing assumptions is identifying the ones you already hold. You might wonder why certain negative patterns persist in your life. Take a closer look. Do you have a deep-seated belief in unworthiness, scarcity, or conflict? If you continuously encounter the same obstacles, there's likely a corresponding belief feeding them. Goddard emphasized that assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, form the foundation of your experience. One way to identify these core beliefs is through introspection. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Notice how you react to challenges or compliments. If you consistently think, "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work," you've located a limiting assumption. Write these beliefs down and take time to reflect on how they've shaped your decisions and circumstances. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Once you identify a limiting assumption, the next step is replacing it with a more empowering one. For instance, if you've discovered a belief that you'll never be financially stable, flip it to, "I always have more than enough money to meet my needs and desires." At first, this new assumption may feel hollow or unrealistic. That's normal. Your mind, accustomed to the old belief, will resist change. To overcome this resistance, employ repetitive, emotionally charged affirmations. Speak your new assumption aloud, visualize it, and infuse it with genuine feeling. The key is persistence. Your subconscious mind needs repeated exposure to the new belief before it starts to accept it as truth. Over time, you'll notice subtle shifts, perhaps new opportunities emerge, or your approach to money becomes more confident. These are signs that your new assumption is taking root in your consciousness, and thus, in your reality. Goddard often spoke of the bridge of incidents, the sequence of events that unfolds once you adopt a new assumption. These events may seem coincidental at first, but they reflect the rearrangement of reality to match your inner state. If you assume you have a fulfilling career, you might stumble upon job openings, meet a helpful mentor, or receive unexpected offers. These incidents act as stepping stones, guiding you from your old reality to your envisioned one. It's important not to resist or dismiss these unfolding events, even if they seem irrelevant or challenging. Sometimes you'll encounter obstacles that serve as catalysts for deeper growth, helping you further solidify your new assumption. Embrace each step of the bridge without clinging to a rigid expectation of how things should unfold. By remaining open and receptive, you align with the best possible expression of your new reality. Rewriting your past, the power of revision. At first glance, the idea of rewriting the past seems impossible. After all, what's done is done, right? Not according to Neville Goddard. He taught the technique of revision as a way to alter the effects of past events by changing their meaning and emotional resonance in your imagination. The logic is simple. If the present mirrors your consciousness, and your consciousness is partly shaped by memories of the past, then changing those memories can shift your present reality. Imagine you had a difficult childhood that still colors your relationships and self-esteem. Conventional wisdom says you can't change the past, so you must cope with its lingering effects. Revision challenges that belief by inviting you to rewrite those painful experiences in your mind. You envision them unfolding differently, perhaps more lovingly or supportively, thus planting new emotional seeds in your subconscious. To revise a past event, first recall it vividly, allowing yourself to feel the emotions attached to it. Then deliberately rewrite the event in your imagination, change the outcome, alter people's reactions, introduce positive elements that transform the emotional tone. If a memory involves a hurtful rejection, reimagine it as a supportive exchange filled with kindness and empathy. Keep revisiting this new scene until it feels natural, until it forms a new memory on an emotional level. Initially, this may feel like self-deception, but Goddard's claim is that the subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and imagined experiences. It only responds to the emotional charge and imagery you supply. By repeatedly immersing yourself in a revised version of the past, you replace the old emotional imprint with a new one. Over time, your self-concept and external circumstances start shifting accordingly. Real-life testimonials abound of individuals transforming their health, finances, and relationships through revision. One might revise a memory of losing a job and replace it with an imagined scenario of gracefully resigning to pursue better opportunities. Another might revise memories of childhood neglect, mentally rehearsing scenes of nurturing and compassion. The surprising outcome is that as people consistently practice revision, they find their present circumstances and future prospects improve in alignment with the revised narrative. Some even report changes in the behavior of those involved in the original event, though whether that's literal or perceptual is open to interpretation. The power lies in the seer's unwavering focus on the new memory. As you rewrite your past in imagination, you rewrite your internal code, influencing how you show up in the present and the future. Living in the end. Living in the end is arguably Neville Goddard's most famous technique. It involves assuming the state of your desire fulfilled and dwelling there mentally as though it were already a fact. Rather than longing or hoping for something to happen, you go straight to the conclusion, imagining, feeling, and believing it is already yours. This mental shift aligns your consciousness with the desired outcome, prompting the external world to rearrange itself accordingly. For instance, if you want to manifest a loving relationship, you don't focus on the absence of a partner or the longing for companionship. Instead, you visualize yourself in a beautiful partnership, feeling the joy, love, and security that come with it. You dine as if your partner is beside you. You celebrate birthdays as if you're already a couple. In other words, you live mentally in the end state. The power of this technique lies in its ability to bypass resistance and doubt. When you continuously yearn for something, you inadvertently reinforce its absence. But when you embody the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you neutralize longing and step into a state of ownership. Your subconscious mind, guided by your new assumptions, starts orchestrating events that make your inner vision a lived reality. It's critical to remain consistent in this mental state. Occasional daydreaming won't be enough if most of your day is spent worrying, complaining, or doubting. Living in the end must become your default mental habitat. You might schedule regular intervals to dwell in your desired state, first thing in the morning, before bed, and throughout the day whenever you have a quiet moment. Each instance of mental rehearsal fortifies the new code in your subconscious. From career breakthroughs to relationship blessings, countless success stories attest to the effectiveness of living in the end. People have manifested dream jobs, reconciled with estranged family members, and attracted windfalls of money using this principle. The common thread is unwavering faith in the reality of the imagined end, paired with persistent mental immersion in that reality. Critics may dismiss these stories as mere coincidence, but for the practitioners, the correlation between their mental shift and real-world outcomes is too strong to ignore. The technique transcends logical explanation, functioning more like an art than a science. It taps into a deep interplay between consciousness and external events, one that can only be grasped through consistent practice and direct experience. Glitching the Matrix, Sarah's artistic breakthrough. For years, Sarah tried conventional strategies, social media marketing, networking, and discounts, to no avail. Despite her best efforts, sales remained stagnant. The turning point came when she discovered living in the end. Instead of hoping for success, she started imagining that she was already a celebrated artist. She performed mental rehearsals of exhibitions selling out, of accolades and positive reviews, and of a fulfilling creative process. Within weeks, her mindset shifted. She found herself painting with newfound passion, experimenting boldly, and posting her artwork online with greater confidence. Then, a well-known local curator discovered her work, leading to her first major exhibition. The show was a resounding success, every piece purchased. Skeptics might say it was chance, but Sarah saw it as a glitch in the Matrix, a direct manifestation of her new state of being. Sarah's bridge of incidents was both subtle and miraculous. Initially, she resisted the urge to discount her work or cast a wide net of desperate marketing. Instead, she trusted her new identity as a successful artist and allowed the next steps to reveal themselves. She felt inspired to focus on quality, authenticity, and creative risk-taking. When the curator appeared, it felt like the universe confirming her assumption that she was already a thriving artist. From there, events unfolded with uncanny ease. Sarah's experience underscores that glitching the Matrix isn't about forcing an outcome. It's about aligning your inner state so fully with the desired result that the external world catches up in a seemingly magical fashion. The Matrix glitches because it must adapt to the revised code of your consciousness. For those seeking to replicate Sarah's success, 3 lessons stand out. Commit to the state. Sarah didn't just dabble in the idea of being a successful artist, she immersed herself in it. This unwavering commitment accelerated her results. Release struggle. Instead of hustling harder and harder without direction, Sarah shifted her effort inward, allowing outer opportunities to arise naturally. Stay open. Sarah remained open to unexpected avenues and synchronicities. Her belief in her new identity allowed her to say yes when opportunity knocked, rather than sabotaging it through disbelief or fear. The role of meditation. Quieting the mind to reprogram reality. Meditation serves as a powerful tool to quiet the incessant chatter of the mind, making room for conscious reprogramming. When you're caught in a loop of worry, doubt, or overthinking, it's nearly impossible to adopt new beliefs or visualize a different reality. The noise drowns out any attempt to refocus. Meditation clears that noise, creating a blank canvas for the mind. Neville Goddard stressed the importance of entering a state akin to sleep, also known as the hypnagogic state, before or after actual slumber. This condition is ideal for programming the subconscious because the critical faculties are subdued. In modern parlance, we might call this state theta brainwave territory, a zone where the mind is relaxed yet receptive. While there are countless meditation styles, 2 methods align well with Goddard's principles: guided visualization. This involves directing your mind to focus on specific images, emotions, or scenarios. For instance, you might visualize yourself in your dream home, feeling the textures of the furniture, smelling the fresh paint, hearing the echo of your footsteps. This immersive approach supercharges living in the end because it engages multiple senses. Mindfulness meditation. Here, you observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, letting them pass like clouds. Once you become adept at mindfulness, you can more easily notice when your mind drifts into limiting beliefs. You develop the skill to refocus on chosen mental states without becoming entangled in negativity, incorporating meditation into daily life. Start with 5 to 10 minutes daily. Consistency matters more than duration. Over time, extend your sessions as you see fit. Early mornings or late evenings are conducive to slipping into a calm state. These are also times when the subconscious is most receptive. Pick a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. If possible, create a small meditation corner with comforting items like pillows or candles to signal your mind that it's time to relax. Feel free to combine mindfulness with guided visualization. Spend a few minutes centering and watching your breath, then segue into a clear visualization of your desired end state. With regular meditation, you'll notice not only reduced stress but also a greater ability to hold new beliefs and mental images. This synergy between calm presence and creative visualization accelerates the transformation of your reality. How to take control of your thoughts and beliefs. Controlling your thoughts and beliefs starts with recognition. Pay attention to mental triggers, words, images, or events that send you spiraling into negativity or doubt. Maybe it's an email from your boss that sparks panic, or a certain time of day when you feel inexplicably low. Identifying these triggers helps you preemptively diffuse them, rather than being caught off guard. Once you know your triggers, adopt strategies to counter them. For instance, if you consistently feel anxious after reading the news, reduce your consumption or reframe the news in a more positive context. If a specific person's negative remarks undermine your confidence, mentally replay those remarks in a humorous light or transform them through revision. Over time, this process replaces unconscious reactions with deliberate responses. Neville Goddard advised that old beliefs are like weeds in a garden. They steal nutrients from new seeds and must be removed or replaced. List negative thoughts and their corresponding new, positive counterparts. Read your new beliefs aloud with emotion at least twice a day, upon waking and before sleep. Visualize yourself living from these new beliefs. Imagine how you'd behave, feel, and think if you truly believed them. This process might seem mechanical, but emotional conviction breathes life into it. The more sincerely you commit, the faster your subconscious adapts. Taking control of your thoughts is not a one-time effort, it's an ongoing commitment. Even seasoned practitioners of conscious creation find themselves slipping into old habits or doubts from time to time. The key is persistence. Each time you catch yourself reverting to an old belief, gently guide your mind back to the new one. Avoid self-criticism or panic. These emotional states only reinforce the negative pattern. Instead, approach the process with patience, treating each slip as a learning opportunity. As you strengthen your mental discipline, the old beliefs lose their hold and your new assumptions become second nature. Eventually, you won't have to force yourself to think positively. It will be your default mode. This is the point at which your external reality begins to reflect your new mental state with greater consistency and speed. Breaking free from limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs often have roots in childhood experiences, cultural conditioning, or traumatic events. Sometimes they stem from well-intentioned advice that became rigid rules over time. For example, if you grew up hearing, "You must work extremely hard to earn even a modest living," you might carry an internalized assumption that money can only come through struggle. Uncovering these roots involves introspection and possibly supportive methods like therapy, journaling, or guided introspection. The goal is not to dwell on past pain, but to understand how it shaped your present beliefs. Once you see the origin of a limiting belief, it loses much of its grip because you realize it was never an absolute truth, just a learned perspective. Methods for releasing limitation. Emotional freedom techniques, EFT. Tapping on specific meridian points can help clear emotional blockages linked to limiting beliefs. It's often combined with verbal affirmations. Inner child work. Visualizing and comforting your younger self can heal deep-rooted beliefs formed during childhood. This complements the revision technique by reprogramming the emotional memory. Challenge the logic. Sometimes simply questioning a belief can dismantle it. Ask, is it universally true that money only comes through toil? You might find counterexamples that contradict the belief, helping you adopt a more flexible viewpoint. When you break free from a particularly stubborn belief, expect to feel a sense of lightness, as though a mental weight has lifted. This liberation often paves the way for synchronicities and blessings that previously seemed out of reach. You might land a new job that pays well and honors your desire for work-life balance. You could meet individuals who validate your new worldview, further reinforcing it. Still, it's crucial to remain vigilant. Old beliefs can resurface, particularly under stress or uncertainty. Treat your newfound freedom as a garden that requires ongoing care. Celebrate your progress and continue to nurture the beliefs that support your highest vision. With time, your mental and emotional environment will stabilize in the new, liberated state. Stepping into your role as the conscious creator. You now hold the keys to exit the simulation, or more precisely, to shape it according to your will. This matrix is not an external prison, but an internal reality shaped by your beliefs, assumptions, and emotional states. Neville Goddard's insights provide the loom and patterns to weave anew. The simulation is, and always has been, a projection of your infinite consciousness. You needn't remain in loops of mediocrity unless you choose to. The decision rests with you. Will you continue to entertain the illusions of limitation, or will you awaken to the power that has always been yours? Remember, true transformation demands willingness to persist, even when doubts surge or the external world contradicts your new assumptions. But if you persevere, you'll find that the external world bends almost miraculously to accommodate your revised beliefs. The illusions of time, space, and limitation dissolve under the light of your unwavering intention. You are the dreamer and the dream. The power to re-script your reality lies within you. Embrace it with conviction. Once you do, you'll see that exiting the simulation is less about escaping and more about transcending, expanding your consciousness so broadly that you understand you were never truly bound. You were the master all along, hidden behind the veil of forgotten power. Step boldly into your role as the conscious creator of your life. Let every moment become a canvas for your imagination, every thought a brushstroke painting the next scene in the grand narrative of your existence. The universe stands ready to conspire in your favor, awaiting your unwavering instruction. Are you ready? The crossroads remain before you. Choose the path of infinite expansion. The matrix is malleable, and the choice is yours. Take that step now and watch how swiftly your inner transformation rearranges the seemingly unyielding structures of your external world. You have all the tools. The next move belongs to you. Go forth and create.